it is with Ty Simpson. He's just the flavor of the week that they're boosting up right now. Y'all coming at me crazy right now, but you're not wrong. Shedeur Sanders is too weak to play in the NFL. EMMANUEL ACHO, right, is just Dan OLOVSKY with a Drewski face mask on. Look, there's been a lot said this week. It's been a fun week making some content, so of course I have to read y'all guys' comments. First things first, we're actually going to start with a video. While I'm recording this, I uploaded this yesterday. Mel Kiper had some things to say about Shedeur and Ty Simpson, and as well, people were trying to make fun of Shedeur because he made a joke, but we're going to get into that. Let's read y'all's comments and see what y'all had to say. Ms. Doogie says, Uncle Mel don't play about nephew. Look, man, a lot of people, you know, don't credit what's it called, Mel Kiper, but if you've been watching the analyst game long enough, you've been watching ESPN long enough, everybody has a take that's terrible and that's wrong. You're not going to be right 100% of the time. I'm not right 100% of the time. That's just not what it is. So when we get to the point where people have no validity because they have an opinion, right? It's at the end of the day, it's a sports opinion. Mel Kiper believes in Shedeur. I mean, I don't know what else why people have such a hard time believing that. Mel Kiper also believes cover 2 should be abolished, right? So like, you can have good takes and bad takes and takes people don't agree with, but at the end of the day, he has his reasonings and he believes it. So this idea that everyone needs to disenfranchise Shedeur fans and people who believe in Shedeur is nasty, because y'all are trying to make football bigger than it is. We like Shedeur and we want to see him do good. It's the end of it. If he's not in the football, then we're not watching football anymore, or at least we're not watching him play football anymore. We'll find someone else that we love and keep supporting, but it just gets too political. It's like everyone needs to be politically correct and have the same opinion, and if you believe in Shedeur, you're delusional, insane. But you know, that's how it is these days. What's going to happen this year? The same thing that happened with Lamar Jackson in his first full year as a starter. They didn't want to believe it then either. Interesting. The Kobe 42, I appreciate that. Marcus says the Browns played harder when Shedeur was playing. Now, this is something that was obvious. Multiple NFL people. Again, like I hate to be, because my opinion doesn't matter. Like, my opinion doesn't matter. Any person who yaps into a mic that doesn't play football, I think our opinion it doesn't matter. But I still am very inclined to my opinion, right? I have the right to my opinion, just like you do. But when my opinion is shared by a lot of people who play the NFL, they say, oh yeah, that team played harder, right? Josh Cribbs, NFL players, different of his teammates. Hey, there's a juice that gets going. Look at Myles Garrett on the sideline. How many videos of Myles Garrett jumping up and down did we see until Shedeur got into the game? Look, hey man, I don't know if I have a EPA stat for that, but man, if people don't enjoy watching Shedeur play football, I think that's y'all's problem. I think y'all's issue is because Shedeur doesn't fit the EPAs and the XYZs and the elemental Ps, and y'all are upset that people enjoy watching him, enjoy wanting to play for him. He galvanizes people, and I get that. A lot of y'all people who stare at stats all day, y'all don't have a lot of human interaction. So I wouldn't think that people who stare at stats and only film would understand the other part of, you know, football, right? Understand the human element of it. Understand what it is being a part of a team, being a leader, being galvanized, right? If all you can do is watch film, continue watching your film, you're going to have very valid observations. But if you can't put those things together, if you can't listen to what these people in the locker room are saying, you're going to miss a pretty vital part of the full part, because there's a reason why people have sports psychologists, right? There's a reason that people make money doing that. And it's because this game is, as much as it is physical, it is also mental. So Mel Kiper speaking the absolute truth about Shedeur. 12 just showing a bench press and people still saying negative stuff. They say anything to discredit 12. Anything's crazy. You know what? I was very interested because we did the video and like he did the workout. He's just back in Colorado, and there was even someone, I don't think I have the comment here, but there was somebody who commented, you know, underneath there like, oh, y'all are overhyping a bench press, and this is where I get to like, y'all can't like. And this is what I've been doing this weekend. You can't take anybody who like criticizes people this way off of social media videos. If that's really how you like judge people, I can't take anything you say. Like you have the head of a walnut. Like nobody can trust anything that you're saying if you thought him getting hype after a bench press was anything but a joke. It's the same thing like last year when people try to put Cam Ward and Shedeur against each other. See, Shedeur and Cam Ward. Cam Ward tells him all he wants to do is rap. It's like, dog, y'all have never had friends. Y'all have never had interactions with each other. Him and Gage were joking around. I think it was 185 on the bar. He did a few reps, and he gets up, and he's like, whatever. And I didn't even know until y'all told me in the comments that people were mad about it. And I had to, first off, sometimes we do have to be like, hey, sometimes you got to we got to get away from the negativity, because I went searching. I'm like, who has a problem? I saw like 3 people with problems with it. Like, so in all seriousness, I don't think this one was as big of a deal. But at the same time, the fact that it's just like, what do we even, like, what is the point of y'all continuously watching something where you're only trying to get negativity out of? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's not going to go in a positive way for you, right? If you don't like Shedeur, then maybe my content's not for you, and that's great. When I make a video about the other great football players, maybe you can hook it out, maybe you can check it out. But to have like this vendetta against somebody because he's joking in the offseason, oh my God, he really thinks that's real weight. That's why his arm is so he's got an under average arm, and that's why, because he's like, dog, it's an Instagram story of him joking with his friend, and because Shedeur said, and y'all really do be proving the point. Y'all prove why Shedeur is so liked, why Shedeur gets to Pro Bowls, why Shedeur is on your screen every single day is because he makes you emotional. I'm talking to the people who don't like Shedeur. It's because he makes you emotional. It's because him even having a lighthearted joke that if you've had friends, and again, a lot of these people who hate on Shedeur probably don't have a lot of those, right? It's, you know, male epidemic, loneliness epidemic, all that stuff. I feel that, right? So I get it. If you don't know, people aren't always super serious when a camera's on. Because if he was too serious when the camera's on, then y'all be like, oh, well, he's just working out for the camera. It's like, dog, y'all, I wish y'all enjoyed something. I hope that you find something that you enjoy that makes you happy, because just trying to shit on everything is just like, that gotta get boring a little bit. You feel what I mean? Continuing on. This is Mook underscore. He says, Alabama doesn't even want Ty Simpson. That's why he's entering the draft. He doesn't have a choice. They do have a 5-star in Keelan Russell, and also I'm not sure if Austin Mack is a 5-star, but Austin Mack too. They got a loaded quarterback room in there. But apparently Ty Simpson got offered some big money to go transfer. So I'm not going to disparage Ty Simpson. But it is something to say that he's been in college 3-4 years and he only started 1 year. 912 that part. If a team like the Cardinals, Jets, or Rams draft him in the mid to late rounds, that could be good for him. But yes, I agree. He's not better than Shedeur. And this was the conversation about Ty Simpson. I don't think that Ty Simpson. When I said, like, Mel Kiper, when he said that Shedeur Sanders was better than Ty Simpson, I'm happy we get back to this. That is such a lukewarm take. Like, that's not even a hot take. It's not a hot take to say somebody who actually played in multiple NFL games, has a whole year of experience under his belt, he could possibly be better than the guy who's only started 15 games, and then half of the games he started last year, people say he looked like trash. I'm not saying that. That's what the analysts, even Dan Orlovsky is like, if you exclude the games where he played bad, he played really good. I was like, all right, dog. I've never seen no shit like that. Has there ever been a prospect where they definitely did do the Shedeur, where all of a sudden, half of the sample size we have is dog shit, but that other half, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with y'all saying, like, that be my point about Shedeur. Hey, you can see the sparks. You can see the sparks with Ty Simpson. You see some plays where like, oh, okay, Ty Simpson, you got a little bit of juice now. It's about making that consistent, right? But to try to say that a man who hasn't even started as many games as Shedeur has played is at the same level, I think y'all just, you know what I mean? Y'all just trying to have whatever player is going to be the hot player to be the name, and that's the guy, because that's clearly what it is with Ty Simpson. He's just the flavor of the week that they're boosting up right now, which I still think is going to be a good player. I still think Ty Simpson can play some football. Cam Ward had a good season. It wasn't electric. That's the perspective of many. No shade there. He had more opportunities to have more flashes of who he can be developed, more weapons, and better protection. I disagree. I think Cam Ward, electric is the definition, I would say. I wouldn't say great. I wouldn't say good. I would say electric, because it was fun to watch. But if you actually look at the stats and the box score, there's not a lot to be happy about it. Now, this is good. This is the comment reading video for last week. Obviously, my guy, my little guy, my little Tiggs, you know what I mean? He was quite excited when I was talking about EMMANUEL ACHO, and he was really he was really showing himself, and he was talking a lot in the back of this video. So as Cunningham says, I enjoy the kiddo in the background. Welcome to fatherhood. I appreciate that. Certified Freedman says delineation is kicking ACHO's ass. I mean, hey man, Curls and the Falconer said the San Francisco game was literally a special teams loss, and I opened up my last video because one of the issues is we get so hyper focused in negative and positive ways on Shedeur Sanders for the Browns, and seem like that's the end all be all. Well, there were multiple games when Shedeur played where the end all be all wasn't even his play. Like, they could have won if the defense didn't allow the Titans rush for 161 yards. They could have won if, the special teams didn't give them possession inside their own 1 yard line multiple times. Like, there was multiple times where there's a lot of different intricacies that could have helped the Browns. And the fact that we super hyper focus, and it's not even it's more of a Browns media thing, hyper focus on Shedeur, I think is crazy. The special team has been so horrible most of the time. Steph was coaching here. Thank God we have Schmidt, or Schmitty the kicker, who actually seems like a good kicker. Munkin will turn it around. And look, man, I know I just said I don't want to get. Actually, this isn't hate. This is just a fact. Kevin Stefanski had a lot of different shortcomings when it came to his coaching, and one of the biggest ones was the accountability for the special teams coach. There was a midseason where there were different Browns media talking about how, hey, where's the either being fired or change or something, because the special teams multiple times allowed them to lose big games. It was tough. Can you give up the high top? I was talking about to my guy ACHO. I love that you have your son with you. Your channel is growing so many ways. Just wanted to comment to ensure we are thankful for the videos and takes and bringing little man with you too. I appreciate that. I had to, obviously he's with his mom right now. They're just in the other room. He might be sleeping. He might be making some sleeps. We're about to run out. It's Sunday as I'm recording this, so we're gonna run around, bring him, show him his grandparents or whatnot. So I really do. Every time I see those comments about my little guy, it does make me smile, so I appreciate that y'all do that. Fournette went to St. Augustine, same as Tyrann Mathieu. I was talking about. That's another thing. Like, I really want to. My goal in making content on YouTube was to get into evergreen content, right? Shout out to Flimlo Raps. Shout out to what's his name? Shout out to what's his called? What's his name? Matt Be Great, right? Because both of them kind of started off doing that vibe of I'm not sure if they started off, but they both do the Where Were They Now, the evergreen stuff like that. If I had it my way, I would be making content specifically about the past, right? I might do that with the second channel, but I really like to get in and make sure we respect people who've played before, and respect the people who have those careers. I think it's so easy to be disrespected with all these elite athletes and elite careers going through. You feel what I'm saying? But there's still great stories to be told. But let's hop back into these comments. Sorry, I had to take a quick little situation there. But Baby Tings with multiple cameos, he was upset about it. Shout out Leanne. She says they completely ignore everything that concerns actual football to focus on dragging Sanders from every angle available. I mean, I don't know if I could have said that better, Leanne. I don't know why people don't understand that. Jason's sources lied to him about Sanders to justify the stupidity of not pouring into him. Jason embraces the lies to bolster his own bias because he has no competent football takes, right? Interesting. Thomas Dubois. Hey, what y'all know about Thomas Dubois? Hey, Emmanuel Acho. From now on, I'm not going to call you Uncle Ruckus. That's a little harsh. But Thomas Dubois, yeah, that's you. They're calling him a tether. Can somebody explain to me what a tether is? I know I can just look it up, but it is what it is. This comment made me upset. You gaining that baby weight now. First off, I've been gaining the baby weight for the last year. All right, let's be honest. All right, let's all be honest, okay? But yeah, man, I'm gonna have to get in that gym. You feel me? It was cold, little dude running around. You feel me? So that's crazy. Y'all coming at me crazy right now. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Retire the flat top. You got to do it. Takes are definitely paid for or fed. The media people are so emotional and will bash anyone that they don't have a personal relationship, but pretend to be not biased. That's what Crimson 24 says. Patrium says, well, Fournette went to St. Augustine High School in Louisiana. We talked about that. ATL Q4L says Stefanski will clear his name in ATL. You know what? I'll be telling y'all this every video. I hope so. I live next to the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, I am rooting for Kevin Stefanski. I have yet to have anything positive. No player has said anything positive about Kevin Stefanski for the last month. So once that happens, I will cover it. And I'll be like, yo, I was wrong. Yeah, I admit when I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to see another 3 years of sadness for the Falcons. Bar Drop says, yep, that one's fits perfectly for Acha. I was talking about Thomas Dubois. Anything, everything sport says, dang, embarrassing his heritage is a bit much. I don't know when I was embarrassing his heritage. I hope I didn't. If I'm not, that's messed up. Your son don't want to get on the mic and start him out early. Be his daddy's son. He for sure Dubois. I appreciate y'all rocking and rolling with me with that one. So remember, comment down below and I will read all the comments from that video. Now, this was from the Ty Simpson, Pat McAfee, Dan Orlovsky video, and I want to read a few of things. So Mendoza definitely had better coaching, but I don't think either one is going to pan out long term. Big conversation about, you know, Ty Simpson versus Fernando Mendoza, and there could be a conversation about Fernando Mendoza. My biggest issue was that trying to attack Fernando Mendoza, the national championship winner, for not playing in big games, that's questionable to me. Because, again, there's nobody who played in more big games than him. You played in the Big Ten title and then made it all the way through the playoffs to the national championship. It's hard for me to argue that there was another quarterback who played in bigger games, right? But maybe there could be there's some tape conversation. There's some, hey, he only throws back shoulder fades, RPO, simple offense, yada, yada. That can be the rhetoric. Hey, he only goes to his first read. Hey, he struggles a little bit when pressure gets in his face. Those are valid criticisms, but that ultimately wasn't what Dan said. He said big games, and that's where it's like, come on. Like, if you're gonna, I'm okay with you having your opinion, but where's the reasoning in your opinion, right? Like, can we have something that's a little consistent? Dan and others have figured out what keeps the algorithm going. There you go. Dan just wants views. This is a CANT 53. How in the hell does a lifelong backup know what a good quarterback looks like? He's been wrong every draft. Glad you got your receipt things. And that kind of goes back full circle to my point of Mel Kiper might be wrong a lot, but a lot of people are wrong a lot. Like, a lot of people are wrong. Mel Kiper wasn't the only person to have Shedeur in the first round. Like, we've looked at it. Like, I don't know why it's funny to bash Mel Kiper because he says silly things sometimes or because he's loud, right? But a lot of people have been wrong about a lot of things. That's sports, baby. That's football, baby, right? I thought Drew Archer was the next thing. I thought, not Tyreek Hill. I thought D'Anthony Thomas was going to be the greatest thing smoking, but then Tyreek Hill came. Like, it's okay to not be, you know what I mean? Not be accurate every time. Dan Orlovsky went 0-7 in Detroit the year they were 0-16. I'd rather listen to Trent Dilfer talk about football. Can somebody find out if Dio is getting kickbacks, Dan Orlovsky, for people using his platform? And I don't think Mendoza's that good, but the Ty Simpson stuff is diabolical. And that's my point. Let's not tear other players down to bring other people up. I don't know if you can hear it, but my little guy is upset. But this has been another installment of reading your comments. Thank y'all so much. Keep commenting. I love reading these. I love the positive stuff, even the negative stuff. Keep them coming. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't. Subscribe to like football content. We'll see you next time. Bye.